Hello, my friends. Hello, my fellow sensitive spirits. Welcome back to our safe space where we explore astrology and tarot and meaning making tools like that to make sense of what is going on in our day to day and with the astrology. And today we're going to be talking about the Leo new moon that is going to be happening on the 24th of July at around 8:10 p.m. here in Portugal time. This lunation is going to be very exciting and is going to actually propel us forward into a new way of living. And so let's dive into what this lunation is going to bring for you at this time. The Leo archetype is a archetype that is all about heart-based living and embodiment in that way. So what Leo is concerned with is, how can I fully embody who I am, go after my dreams, and live my life in the most authentic way possible and in the most attuned way possible. So what I mean by this is, Leos are really interested in exploring what their heart desires, what their actual dream is in life. And not only that, but Leos tend to help others do the same. So the Leo archetype is also really concerned with helping out other people to live their dreams, being very open and giving and supportive towards others. And so this new moon is going to be really coded with the elements of embodiment, of embodying of true self, of also heart-based living, and finally getting the courage to live as you would like and as you feel that you should be living. This new moon is going to be happening at 2 degrees Leo, and this degree is a really early degree. It's one of the first degrees in astrology, and from that point of view, this suggests that the new moon is going to be a lot about the beginning of a new process. New moons already are coded with that language, with that intention, but the fact that it's happening in such early degrees in Leo is really interesting and also emphasizes this process that is just starting. It is just beginning. So as a collective, we're just beginning a new journey, and we're just starting to feel more embodied, to follow a more heart-based life, and all of the themes that concern with this Leo new moon are opening up at this time. So this new moon is also going to be a little bit humbling in a way, because we're not supposed to be forcing growth. We're not supposed to be forcing heart-based living on ourselves. We're going to be met with some hurdles and some pains in order to get to that desired way of living that we're going to be talking about here next. In our two main big themes that I'm picking up for this new moon, the first one is the new moon is going to be happening in opposition to Pluto, which is newly in Aquarius. This opposition is going to be helping us to see the tension that we have between our life that we want to be living and the life that we're actually living right now. The way that you may experience this, particularly in your personal experience, is maybe you feel like you have a desired reality, or maybe you feel like you want to be embodying a certain persona or personality, and you are not actually seeing that happen in your actual reality. You may experience in certain points that your life is going in a direction that you do not want it to go towards. So this is the energy around how you want to be. For example, you want to be fit, you want to be somebody who goes to the gym, somebody who works out and has a healthy, strong body. However, you experience not having time or energy to do those workouts to go to those classes. And so this is a particular and specific example of how this may show up in your life, where you experience that you have this mental story that you tell about yourself, that you're somebody who is fit, that you're somebody who goes to the gym. However, in your day-to-day, in your actual reality, you experience not being able to go to the gym. The reason why this is happening is to truly bring up this issue to your awareness so you're able to correct it going forward. This is something that I have been observing in my own life, is that the more that I'm able to precisely visualize what the problem is, the more I'm able to resolve the problem. So this is something that is really simple in principle, actually, if you think about it, is if you're never able to see the problem, if you're never able to understand what you're doing wrong, you will never be able to correct that behavior. And so this is actually really useful, and the new moon is going to be showing us these codes of how we can shift our life, because we're actually going to be able to clearly see, okay, I'm not actually doing what I want to be doing and taking the steps that I want to be taking in order to live the life that I want and that I imagine in my mind. And so I'm going to shift and change gears and decide to do otherwise to solve this problem that I'm going through. And the second big theme that I noticed with this new moon in Leo at such early degrees is that, of course, we're going to be feeling called to live from our heart, to follow our dreams, to embody our truest self, to maybe help others to do the same. However, heart-based living comes with strings. When we're living from the heart, when we're embodying our true self, when we're stepping into our light, we actually attract a lot of haters, a lot of trolls, and a lot of people who would like to dim our light because maybe they're not in such high frequency. Maybe they feel unhappy, maybe they feel unfulfilled. And so the easiest way to level with you from that point of view of theirs is to cut you down in order to make themselves feel at least at your level, if not bigger, depending on how much they try to destroy your confidence. And so what I picture with this theme is, you know, when we're really little, like kids, and people ask us, what would you like to be when you grow up? What is the profession that you would like to do? What is the thing that you would really, you know, enjoy doing when you grow up? And we say, I want to be an astronomer. I remember when I was little, I really wanted to be an astronomer, which is really interesting because right now I'm into a lot of these deeper things that have to do with the universe and with the connectiveness of life and the matrix and all of these things. So when we're little, we have these quote unquote unrealistic dreams that we call, that could be realistic. I could, you know, actually be an astronomer if I wanted to, but the way that it goes is we're usually encouraged as kids to go for what we actually dream for and want to do in the future as adults. However, as we start growing up and start following our dreams, we start encountering people that tell us that we can't do it. Those people are really real and they exist, and they actually pull us away from our heart's desire, from our dream. And so what I imagine is that we are a main character in a movie, like a fairy tale, and there is this idealized version of the world and events that we want as a fairy tale character. When we think about fairy tales, there's always somebody who is there to distract us from our end goal, to make it almost impossible to get to our end goal. And this is exactly what happens in real life, is when you start experiencing heart-based living. And how do you know and how can you tell that you are in alignment and that you're following your heart, is that you see the amount of trolls, I would say, people who hate on you, people who say harsh words to you, or are mean to you, those people will start to surface. Having this knowledge really helps you to realize, okay, if I'm seeing an increase in trolls and haters, and if people are starting to question me, and if people are starting to be maybe harsher or meaner to me, it puts it into perspective. Instead of thinking, oh, I'm doing something wrong, I should make myself small, give up on the major, whatever the case may be, instead of doing those things, it brings into perspective. Maybe you start thinking, okay, if I am seeing this happening, then that means I'm in true alignment. That means that I'm actually following my heart. And so I encourage you to notice where is it and what situations is it that people decide to push on you. And just to close out this theme about the heart-based living and the fairy tales, what I also want you to take out of this video is that people who are preyed upon, people who are hated upon, and especially in fairy tales, if we're thinking about storytelling and stories in general, those are the people who have the biggest potential. So in fairy tales, there's always a princess and a villain that goes against that princess, right? And the princess at the end of the fairy tale wins or gets married or becomes a queen. If you think about this in your own life, you are the queen, right? You are the princess that is going to eventually become a queen. And so this tells me that you are somebody who has great potential. You're somebody who has a talent in something. You're somebody who is really good at dancing, singing, any art form. You're special in that way. You're different. And so I would encourage you to keep that in mind, that, you know, if your light is being targeted, if your light is being, if some effort is trying to dim your light, then that means that you're vibrating at a really high frequency in order to attract a villain. What we're really seeing with this new moon is this beautiful timeline of opposition, right? Feeling the tension between your life and your desired life, and then of following that inkling, that heart-based desire to do something, seeing an increase of haters, seeing an increase of people who would like to bring you down, and in that way, that being a clue that you're actually in pursuit of something really major. So now, just to close out our predictions here for this new moon in Leo, that is so beautiful, so wholesome, so heart-based, I'm going to take the tarot, and we're taking the Considerate Cat tarot today because I just feel like we need some light and fun energy. And so let's see, let me focus here. What is this Leo new moon going to bring the collective that is watching this video, the beautiful sensitive souls? Oh my god, okay, the beautiful sensitive souls that we have here on my channel. Guys, we have, guys and girls, we have 10 of Pentacles and 8 of Pentacles. I'm going to take another card just to see what we're working with energetically, but a lot of Pentacles cards are coming out, which is interesting because Leo is actually a fire sign, but Leo is also a fixed sign, and you know, the Pentacles are related to material reality, to the 3D world, which is a fixed matter of life, if you must say. It doesn't shift as quickly as maybe the subconscious waters of the Cups cards, or the wittiness of the air signs, which are represented by the Swords cards. Wow, guys, I can't even make this up. Okay, I can't even make this up. We have the 10 of Pentacles, the 8 of Pentacles, and the Sun of Pentacles, which is the Knight of Pentacles. And these cards are so beautiful. They're so cute, aren't they? The cards are incredibly coated with pentacles. I was not expecting this for this new moon because it is actually a fire new moon. And it got me thinking. The first card is 10 of Pentacles, which in our beautiful cat tarot deck is a cat walking, and you can see that it has roots on its little paws and a pentacle plant coming up from the back of the cat. 10 of Pentacles traditionally is associated to wealth, success, to wiseness, and to a point at which we are like somebody has worked their whole life and now they have money to sustain their children, their nephews, and all of that, right? So there is a sense of security of having family money, right? Of having wealth in that way. And so the 10 of Pentacles here in this deck really tells me that there might be a new opportunity coming in for some of us. This is something I really feel called to say, is that there might be a new opportunity, a new money opportunity, a new opportunity related to success, and that is more conducive to gaining wealth and building sustainable wealth. This 10 of Pentacles is really telling me here that this new moon is also going to be focused on this slow and steady building of wealth and building of the life that we desire. Okay, a lot of us have this dream to one day have a house, buy a house, have it all paid off, live with our family in it, and be happy and have this kind of freedom in terms of financial security that we don't usually enjoy in our youth because we have to pay off the house, we have to work, pay off bills and all of that. And so what I see here is, yes, we have this desire to do that and to achieve that kind of wealth and success, and it is necessary for us to root ourselves in the reality that we live in. But with the energy of the new moon, and also with the next card that I have here, which is the 8 of Pentacles, is how can we do that in a more sustainable way? And the 8 of Pentacles is a card that is associated to mastery and to doing something so many times that you're actually an expert at it at some point. It's somebody who is practiced so much a craft that now they're so fast at doing it and they're so quick, and that is necessary to build our life. But in this deck, that is really interesting is that the cat here is surrounded by the pentacles, yes, but it seems to be playing with them. Hey, we have this energy of play, this energy of fun, of lightheartedness. What I'm really also seeing with the 10 of Pentacles here with the roots is, if you haven't lived fully and enjoyed your life and played your whole entire life, even when you're older and when you have the freedom, when you have the money, you're not going to do it anyway. What it is that you do on your day-to-day, the way that you approach something is how you do anything. When you're older, if you haven't enjoyed your life right now, what makes you think that you're going to enjoy your life later on when you're older? And so this is this energy that is coming up for me and is wanting to be expressed for you guys. And the Son of Pentacles, which is the Knight of Pentacles, which I think is so lovely because it's actually nighttime on the card. Night, you know, it's a really funny way of playing with this word of Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles is about routine, and it's about placing really carefully a routine, a schedule in order to be able to achieve something, like working really hard and being productive. The Knight of Pentacles is that energy of hard work and productivity, almost in a way where we would like to do something at such a perfect, so do it so perfectly, be so productive, have this routine, almost like in this Virgo sense of obsessiveness, of doing something idealistically, idealizing being able to do something. But what I see with this card in particular from this deck is, because it's nighttime, at night there is a lot of things that we humans cannot see, and so there is this energy of this card around. There is things that are hidden, things that we don't see, that are actually hindering us from being able to do that perfect routine that we have planned out, of waking up at 6 a.m., of going on a meeting right away, of talking to all of these people, of being so social, of going to so many gatherings, for example. There's hidden things, there's traumas that we have experienced in limitations, either self-imposed or imposed by others, that make it so our routine cannot be so linear. And so what I really hear with this is that the new moon is going to also show you that growth is not linear, and it is not linear because we as humans experience life in a non-linear way. If it was linear, it would be great. We would achieve the 10 of Pentacles, the success. After working hard all our life, we're finally going to be able to achieve success, achieve our wealth, be able to have free time and health at an old age, and embrace life and all of our hobbies and all of that. That would be the ideal world, the world at which growth is linear. But this is not what is actually being depicted in this card reading, and it's also not the reality. We don't just magically become older and are finally able to enjoy life. There is problems that we experience throughout our life, and if we don't deal with them right now, they're never going to be healed. So this has been a really beautiful card reading for this new moon in Leo. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I will see you on the next one. Thank you guys.